Wow, epic, awesome 72 hours, especially within that old ancient area, cradle of civilization, Iraq and Iran. To me, two twin disaster brothers since the beginning of time, will go all the way to the end of time, doing as they've always done, being brothers of destruction. And even now, the news media is complicit in not reporting the disasters of tankers and all sorts of events taking place there, not to alarm people of what it is, because of course they don't want the stock market to go crazy. It's all about money, that is for sure, and that is why a lot of these things are mum's the word, but it soon will get out. You know, it is incredible what took place even in Japan. I've mentioned this before. You got a new emperor. You know, something that has not been on the radar pretty much since Douglas MacArthur talked with the emperor, which the Japanese people have never heard his voice until the day that he came on the radio when, of course, they ended the war and said, no more mas, no mas, we give up, okay? And they considered him a god. Well, I say that considered godlike figure, as they would say, has reemerged. And the children in Japan, which I say is the Asian German people, the most efficient people on the face of the earth, the same is with the Asian. And I say that with great respect, because I've been blessed with, well, I would say 500 to 700 employees. I lose count, for better or for worse, but the two best employees I ever had were from Japan, okay? I say that to their credit. Yet their children that have grown up since World War II have been void of, let's say, not destruction or terror or sorrow, but remembrance of it. This modern era of children, I don't believe is in the history books of what took place. If it is, it's one-sided in regards to what happened to them instead of what they did to create the problem worldwide. Long before World War II, back in the early 30s, to China and many other Asian countries, how they dominated and destroyed and just annihilated women, children, babies, bayoneting them, throwing them out of windows. I tell you, the disregard that they had, it doesn't go far from the imagination of why they're the only nation that received the nuclear modern bomb, okay? At that time, the atom bomb, perhaps a similar bomb or destruction did take place in Sodom and Gomorrah, but in modern days time, it was Japan, and was because of their just disregard for life and how they just destroyed them. And I say to you today, the children of those parents who did such heinous crimes don't have a clue, and perhaps in many ways morally they are worse when everything hits the fan and you're stripped of everything that you normally have and you go out to war. You will kamikaze yourself against the enemy in such a way that the world has never seen. Now, sorry to go on that tangent, but I just want to convey the seriousness that the world has not seen, and it is so silent. When you look at the passing of the baton in Japan in regards to the emperor, the ceremony, there's no music, there's no talking, there is no noise, there is nothing. It is passed under the radar of all of the nations, and soon will reveal itself as something powerful, just as this news in Nineveh, as there is a new governor. Now, I know everybody says that is insignificant, but it is very significant as far as the players the new players that have come on the scene to change world events, including things in the Ukraine. Now, this Epoch News, Times News, is awesome because this woman has come out of nowhere to me. I've just been acquainted with how succinctly they have put together this report in regards to the Ukraine. Now they talk a lot about things that the world don't know in regards to the previous administration and how they're involved in such things. Okay, that's great. But yet the relationship with the Ukraine and this current administration, the Trump administration, is going to be epic. It's going to be awesome. And they're going to bridge the gap in regards to the East and the West with the European Union. And as I said before, the minister of God said, watch the Ukraine. And that we will, because they will help bring down the past administration because of their involvement in all of the shenanigans that they've done to bring down this current administration, and all of that, say, skirt raised over their face and their nakedness will be shown, will be done. Yet it is more critical in regards to what Iraq needs that Iran provides now. And that is what this current administration, the Trump administration, is trying to rid them of. Meaning they want either Saudi Arabia or United States themselves to be able to provide this natural gas that Iraq needs, that is relying upon Iran to give them, of which United States don't want Iran to be involved in. And this is the conflict that is going on now, and while ships are burning within the area. I personally believe that the Ukraine will bridge the gap and provide a lot of that natural gas, which was the deal that they were making with the United States, with the current with the past administration, embroiled in all of this scandal and all of this money laundering, passing through, making these deals, being on the side of the past administration and against the current Trump administration. Now, it seems complicated, but it really isn't. Previous, I think that Israel was supposed to do, let's say, the dirty work in regards to taking out of the new news, perhaps old news, that the current administration, as well as the administration in Israel, knew that Iran had advanced weaponry, perhaps nuclear, more advanced than previously noted throughout the global community. And they were going to stop that, and this as a pretense, being able to go in there and do just that and start this. However, I believe it was a global wisdom to keep Israel out of it, so the rest of the world won't dump on Israel those ancient and current enemies that they have, no matter what they do. Okay, again, if it's raining, it's the Israelis' fault. If the sun is shining and they're hot, it's the Israelis' fault. So they would definitely come against them if Israel's hand was involved in it. And therefore, I believe it is a joint venture, but the United States will take the lead in stopping this. Again, I understand that Iran will come out smelling like roses, okay, of all of this, including Iraq, because the Chinese will deal with the United States and make a wonderful deal involved in all of this trade that is going on, and of course the tariffs, to say, okay, we'll do this if you allow us to do this, if you allow us to work in this area of the Middle East, and if you leave us alone, let us do all of the things that we've planned, especially in regards to the ancient Silk Road, now made modern, and will be the most awesome thing on the face of the earth as far as world trade is concerned. The world has never seen the like. The ancient days will be considered like a mini mart, something at the 99-cent store, compared to what this epic world trade will do for the global community. But again, I'm sorry to bore you to tears, but we are looking at the fulfillment of, or say the beginning of the fulfillment of an ancient prophecy, which I have never personally been able to be involved in and see with my own eyes. Reading here in Isaiah 23:17. At the end of 70 years, the Lord will deal with Tyre. She will return to her lucrative prostitution and ply her trade with all the kingdoms on the face of the earth. Verse 18. Yet her profits and her earnings will be set apart for the Lord. They will not be stored up or hoarded. Her profits, that is, that prostitute, will go to those who live before the Lord for abundant food and fine clothes. Now listen, the biggest part of this is all in the beginning, and I will read that. But this is at the end of 70 years. Now, you can prominently go back to 48, May 17, May 14, 1948, and you can see the historic signing in regards to Israel and how it was an official end of that system of all the horrified events of World War II. Okay? And how it put an end to that, establishing Israel in the middle of that, and we've never seen, it has been forgotten. Okay? Now, that is in the scripture before this. But it points to not 1948 to 2018, which is 70 years. It goes to the end of that, which is 2019, May 14, which is today that I'm talking to you here in the Philippines. It's 2:48 p.m. Tuesday, May 14th, 2019. And yet, it will start the day in the United States. And as the trade has gone wild, okay, in regards to the stock market, up and down because of the trade wars with the United States and China, and of course the events that are taking place within the Middle East, and of course the events that are taking place within Iran, and of course our own turmoil with the administration and the past administration, and the Ukraine is in the middle of it. And all of those things will be resolved. And the United States will also come out smelling like roses. However, the more sinister roses will be made gold, and that will be throughout the Middle East. It will usher in the global reset, okay? Currency reset of where all of these funds, all of this money will be provided for this system, this ancient system that is described in Isaiah chapter 23, all the way up into 17, all the way up until the end. Okay? As a matter of fact, you find chapter 24 spelling out that all of this is over now. It will be over. This is not referring to back then in their trading and the old Silk Road. It is the current Silk Road. As the scripture says, all of her profits will be set apart for the Lord, and that is the return of the Lord.